Hey gamers, this is Liz Davidson from Beyond Solitaire, and today I want to show you how to play Dreams of Tomorrow. This is actually a prototype copy of a game that is coming to Kickstarter on October 15th. It's going to be published by Weird Giraffe Games. This is a game where you are in a dystopian future, and you are a dream engineer, and your job is going to be to weave together dreams to send back into the past and to make them vivid enough so that the people who receive your dreams will act on them and potentially change the future. This game is designed by Falcon, but there's a solo mode for this game that was designed by the publisher Carla Kopp. And something that I've been able to come to rely on from her is not only one interesting solo mode, but usually at least two, and in this game, 3. So here are the prototype cards of the robot player. We're going to have an automated opponent that's going to mess with us throughout this game. So we're going to play this one on easy, but there's also a medium robot, and there's also a hard level robot that takes up both of these cards. So these cards are going to have instructions for us to control a robot player. It's going to make our game a little bit tougher. The object of this game is to get the highest score that you can by catching dreams, and then you can put them in your little dream workshop and take separate actions that allow you to weave them into a coherent sequence. We're going to be trying to create a sequence of 5 dreams, and once 5 dreams have been created, or this robot turn counter reaches 29 turns, the game will end, and we'll see who has scored the highest. My dream score needs to be higher than the robot player's turn count in order to win, which sounds like it would be really easy, but it kind of isn't. Dreams are going to be scored in 2 ways at the end of this game. The first way is just this traditional victory point count. So in this case, this particular dream is worth 5 victory points. However, we also need to be looking at the symbols on the top and bottom rows of the dream sequences that we weave. Because if I can get multiple moons, for example, on the top row, or multiple of these triangles on the bottom row, I'll also score increasingly high amounts of points the more of them I can get on the same row. So you need to not only look at the victory point total of a dream that you decide to catch and possibly weave into your sequence, you also need to be paying attention to these symbols and going for as much synergy as possible. Thematically, that is going to represent sending back a more coherent and clear dream that's going to be easier for the person who receives it to remember when they wake up from sleep. There's also a lot of iconography down the sides of these dream cards that's actually pretty simple to understand once you know what you're looking at. So your victory point total is going to be the star in the top right-hand corner. This next symbol down, this is going to be the amount of experience that you need in order to catch the dream. So I, for example, would need to pay 2 of my experience resource in order to catch this dream, 5, 4, and 3. And this experience is something that I'm going to be able to gain throughout the game, and I need to manage that resource in order to catch the dreams that I want to catch when I want to catch them. This is the instructions for how to weave a dream into your dream sequence. So it takes experience to catch a dream, but it takes a combination of creativity, represented by a paintbrush, and hope, represented by a candle, in order to actually do something with that dream and put it in sequence to send back to the past. So here's the cost to catch it, here's the cost to weave it. This bottom symbol, and there's a very handy guide to symbols in the rulebook, we're going to explain every single one we use in this video, is the action that a dream allows you to take. So as long as the action sign on a dream is showing, whether it's in your workshop or whether it's the topmost dream in your sequence, you are going to be able to use that action when you land on a dream action activation space. And the actions in this game do a lot of interesting things. They can get you resources, help you catch extra dreams, or even manipulate these cards on this rondel, which I'm going to be explaining next. So probably the coolest thing about Dreams of Tomorrow, mechanically, is this rondel. I really love this feature of this game. So as I, this teal player, move, every space I land on is going to do something different. So I can use it to gain resources, in which case in a multiplayer game, other players would also gain a smaller amount of resources. I can get to where I'm able to activate the action on one of my dream cards. I can catch a dream. I can weave a dream. So, you know, these are spaces for hope, experience, creativity, taking a dream action, catching a dream, weaving a dream, or taking 3 resources of my choice. But what is the most interesting is that this rondel is not static. There are different actions that players can take during the game, or in this case that this robot player is going to take during the game, or that I can take if it's to my advantage, that move this rondel around. So cards can have their order change. They can also be flipped, and that would move the bottom action on the card back up to the top of the card. So this is fascinating because it provides this amazing way to either bring spaces that you want to be on closer to you, or to play a game of keep away with someone else when you know there's something that they want that you don't want them to have. It is just a really fun and interesting and exciting aspect of this game, and I think that the game is worth looking at just for this. So let's walk through some turns to see how things look. So here are the robot player's turns. I need to adjust this counter every time that the robot takes a turn. And at the end of the game, if I can weave 5 dreams in my dream sequence, then the game ends immediately and the scores are calculated. So the robot score is equal to the value of the robot player turn counter plus 5 for a 1-player game. So the robot automatically starts with 5 points before it even does anything. So I have some catching up to do. Here's my little player board, and of course these are prototype pieces, so the final version may not look quite like this. But here's my little player mat, and here are my counters for experience, creativity, hope, and then this counter will tell me whether I'm moving clockwise or counterclockwise around the rondel, because guess what? That too can change. Setup for this game is just like a 2-player game because the robot is the second player. There are 4 dreams on the market. There are more in a game with more players. And I am actually going to get to start with 6 experience and purchase a dream before the game officially begins. So let's see, which one do I want to catch? So this dream up here is going to cost me 2 experience, which makes it the cheapest one on the board. However, it has this empty circle on the top row, although it does have a square on the bottom, which gives it some synergy with this dream. So I'm looking ahead, thinking about which dreams might be good matches for future turns, so I can try to get some dreams with some synergy. This one also has a special ability, and what it allows me to do is it allows me to clear the dreamscape. So this like bit of cards means I can get rid of all the dreams that are up here basically on the market, and then I will be able to catch a dream after that. So if I don't like any of the dreams that are on the market, I can clear them out and then have the option to purchase one of the new ones that comes up. So that's actually pretty cool. This one is worth 5 victory points, but it's also the most expensive in terms of experience. And what it allows me to do is exchange. So I can exchange any 2 dreams that are either on my dream catcher or sequence, or I can move 1 dream that is within my dream sequence. So it allows me to move around dreams that I already have. So for example, I could probably do something like weave a cheap dream and then use that ability to put a more expensive one in there, which is kind of smart. Glad I thought of that. Ha! All right, so this one's worth 4 victory points. It costs 4 experience, and this one is going to allow me to gain resources. So I can gain these resources, or I will be able to catch from the discard or from the top of the dream deck. So if I liked a dream in here and I plan to buy it and then it got discarded or taken away, I would be able to use this ability to purchase it from the discard if I wanted to, or just gain some more resources if that was what I chose to do instead. So that's also pretty great. This one is only worth 3 victory points. It's relatively inexpensive both to catch and to weave, however. And what this one allows me to do is that it allows me to basically change the order. I can reorder one of the cards in the rondel, which is really cool, so I can just move it to a different spot. And then I can choose to move 1 or 2 spaces. So if this was out of my way, I could move it towards myself and then move onto it if I was being very clever with my movements. So I think what I'm going to do is, you know what, let's go big or go home. I am going to spend 5 experience. I'm going to grab this expensive dream up here. I also like that it has this moon and this triangle, there's like another matching dream in the market right now. So if I can get them both and then weave them together, things are gonna be looking pretty good for me. So this one is gonna go over here. This is where I've decided to keep the dream. This is my dream catcher. I'm gonna put dreams that I've woven over here on the right. The card actually suggests you put it under, but for space reasons, I want you to be able to see everything. Here's my dream catcher. Here's my woven dreams. So now I'm gonna get to go first. On your turn, you can move 1 to 3 spaces for free. If you want to move 4, 5, or 6 spaces, you're going to need to pay some resources instead. I mean, in order to make that move happen. So I don't really have any resources right now, and I'm really good with just moving 1 to 3, but there's gonna be times when I wanna extend my move, and to do that, I'm gonna have to pay out. So in order to move 4 spaces, I would need to pay 1 resource, 5 would cost me 3, and going 6 would cost me a whopping 6 resources. So you really have to want it to move that far. For now though, I'm just gonna take a generic small movement. I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up 4 hope, because those are resources that I'm gonna need in order to weave this dream or any other future dreams. If I were playing in a multiplayer game, the other players would get 2 hope because I went to this space, but as it is, the robot's just a robot. Now it's the robot's turn. My little robot friend is gonna go over here and move to 1. And then according to these robot player instructions, we're gonna see what's gonna happen. So we can know that the robot player is gonna move 2 spaces unless it's within 2 spaces of either a dream action space or a dream catch space. If it can go to both of those spaces because the way the rondel's been moved around, then it'll pick the closer one. When it lands on a dream action space, it's going to reveal a dream from the dream deck, and depending on the symbol that's on the top bar, it's going to do something to the rondel, usually something that annoys me in my experience. And then when it hits these catch dream spaces, if it's an even turn, it will discard all of the dreams in the dreamscape. Otherwise, I need to put the leftmost, I'm gonna call that this top left one, leftmost dream into the discard pile. So that could be unfortunate. Oh, and since I did deplete a dream for the dream market, let's just remind me now. These will kind of move. We'll just pretend that I have a whole nice row of dreams, and this will be the rightmost dream on the market. Interesting. Okay, so I have a new dream market set up. It's the robot's turn. We just moved their turn marker. So we know from this that the robot is going to move 2 spaces because it's not currently within 2 of one of its most desired spaces on the rondel. It's gonna get through next turn though, unless I do something. So it's gonna go 2. It doesn't actually collect experience, but I actually get the experience multiplayer bonus from its movement. So I'm gonna get 2 experience from that move. Now it's my turn again. So, I guess for now it's still best for me to just kind of creep along and gain things. So I'm actually gonna pop here 2 experience as well. So now I'm at 7 experience, and that's good for me because I'm gonna need to be buying some more dreams and I wanna make sure I have the experience to do that. Now our little robot friend is gonna do something to us. So it's on turn 2, and it's gone to this dream action space. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna reveal a dream from the dream deck and I'm gonna check the resonance symbol on the top, and it is a moon. So that means that I'm gonna flip the second card in the collective consciousness and move it to the beginning. So what that means is I'm gonna take this card, see how it had the candle on top and the weave on the bottom. It's going to flip, which switches the actions, and then it's going to move to the front of this collective consciousness where I and other dream engineers, in this case a robot, are moving. So I'm just gonna keep taking it slow. I don't have a dream action that's going to do anything to this rondel for me right now, so I'm just gonna try to play it pretty cool. And because next turn is gonna be turn 3 for the robot, so it's not gonna take anything out of the discard pile except for this wolf, which would have been cool, but I'm not freaking out about losing it. So I'm gonna come over here, and I'm just gonna pick up some creativity. Because again, I need these things in order to weave a dream. This one costs 5 creativity. I can't even weave this yet. So I'm gonna need to make sure that I have the resources to do what I need to do when I can get access to these spaces. All right, so now it's the robot's turn. Robot is on turn 3. So I'm gonna move here because it's going to want to catch a dream. What it's gonna do is it's just going to move this to the discard pile. So this dream is gone. Let's just, 1, 2, 3. This one will move in. Oh, so we got another wolf dream. Interesting. Okay, so I better get a hold of some dreams that I want before I have trouble from this robot, as you might have noticed. So it is my turn again. Let's think about what I would like to do. I don't want to activate this action. I'm definitely gonna come here. So let's go ahead and catch a dream that I want so that this robot can't get it away from me. So one thing I definitely want, because it's got double resonance, is I really want this tree. Like, I'm not playing, I want that real bad. So we are going to pay 4 experience to put us back down to 3. We are absolutely grabbing this baby and putting it in the dream catcher. So it's in the dream catcher. It means that I have access to both actions. The other thing that's the actions that are shown here, the other thing that's really cool about this is that I am going to be able to make a purchase from the discard pile, which means that if I ever lose a dream that I really want, as long as this action is visible, I'm going to be able to do something about it. So let's rotate our dreams on the market and draw another one. Ooh, nice. I love the art in this game. It's really pretty. Okay, so now it is going to be time for the the robot player to move. They are on turn 4. So they're already at like 9 points. Oh my God, like I have got to catch up. This is rough. So the robot player is going to move 2. And then I'm going to get 2 hope off of that just because, which is great. And now it's my turn. So here's what I'm gonna do. I think that it's time to weave a dream. So I'm gonna pop over here. I gotta make sure I have some kind of points in the bank here because this is serious. So I need to get 5 dreams built before this thing hits 29 turns, and I also need enough points off of those dreams to have a higher score count than the robot has taken in turns plus 5. So I've really gotta book it if I'm gonna make this work. And this is just the easy robot. So I'm gonna weave, and what that's gonna mean is I'm gonna go ahead and weave this cheaper one. So we are gonna spend all of our creativity and 3 of our hope in order to weave this dream. And that actually works just fine for me. So just so you know, by the time I weave a second dream, what that's gonna do is I'm gonna need to choose which dream is on top. Like I will have to put this in the beginning or the end of my dream sequence. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna block off one of my actions. Only the visible action can be taken. So you also need to be careful about the timing of when you move dreams into your sequence because you lose access to at least one of your actions every time you do that. All right, so now it's the robot's turn. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'd really like to be able to take this action myself next turn, so we're gonna see whether that's even possible based on what this robot does. So we're gonna draw from the dream deck, and the top bar icon is gonna be an empty circle. No, oh, that's horrible. I have to move the first card in the collective consciousness to the end. So what that means, fortunately, I think I'm still gonna be able to reach a dream action space, whew. But I just got moved over here. So if this, fortunately, I'm gonna be able to get to another dream action space, but if this had been configured differently, it would have moved me right away from the thing that I really wanted to do the most, which is brutal. Also, that was turn 5 for the AI. Whew. All right, so now it's my go. I know that the robot's not gonna actually be able to move anything this turn because he is slated to go here. So I'm gonna stop here along the way and I'm gonna pick up some more hope. That way I'll have this resource when it's time. Then on turn 6 for the robot's gonna come up here and I'm gonna get 2 creativity off of that. So that's actually somewhat helpful to me. Now it's my turn. I wanna go here. So I'm going to take this action. So what this means is I can activate this action and it allows me to exchange any 2 dreams that are either on my dream catcher or in my dream sequence. Or I can move a dream within the sequence. So what I want to do is I'm going to switch these. Because this dream was actually much more expensive to weave than the other one because it was worth 5 and 4 and this one was worth 4 and 3 of their respective resources. So why would I pay in full when I have an action that lets me just switch it over there and then I can spend this amount of resources twice instead of that amount of resources. All right, so now it's the robot's turn. And again, our little robot friend is gonna go 2. So they're not actually gonna get any hope, but I will actually get 2, which means I'm kind of maxed out on hope right now. Not quite, but almost. So I'm gonna need to think about what other stuff I should be going for. I think what I am gonna do, since I really need to build some dreams faster, is I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna go ahead and catch. I'm gonna spend the 3 experience that I have left to grab this dream because I like that it has the moon up top and I don't have any squares in the bottom yet, but it gives me something new to kind of concentrate on. So I'm gonna put this one here and then we will arrange and draw a new one off the pile. Ooh, that's like a modern looking dream. That's neat. Another moon too, that's good. Okay, so that was my move. It is now turn 8 for the robot. Oh my God, it goes so fast. So it's gonna go to this action sequence. And then what that means is that I am going to flip a card and we're gonna see what it will do to me. Something bad, of course. Okay, so there is a filled in circle on the top this time. So what that means is I'm gonna flip the 3rd card, the number 3 card in the collective consciousness. So number 3 does not mean the 3rd card over, it literally means number 3. So this kind of stinks for me because it puts me on an experience space that I can't benefit from. So that kind of sucked because I would have actually liked to get that, but there are worse things. So now it's to me again. All right, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and come here for 3 resources of my choice. I'm gonna pick up some creativity because I really need it and it will probably benefit me in the end. So now it is the robot player's turn. They are also gonna move 2, so I pick up another creativity. So now experience is what I'm really shy on, but we'll deal with it. Okay, so what I'd really like to be doing is weaving a dream. I don't have the experience I need to catch one. And I don't really, do I want to take any of these actions? Actually, let's just take a dream action because it's fun. And actually I would like to do some weaving. So here's what we'll do. Let's go here. I'm going to take the action that's on this card in the dream catcher. So in this case, I can reorder 1 card in the collective consciousness and then move 2. So what I'm gonna do is also to keep this guy at bay a little bit longer. Is that what I want? 8, 9. Yes, I do want to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna move this card back here. So now the cards are actually back in their normal order and I can move 1 or 2. So I'm gonna move 1 and I'm gonna weave a dream. I'm actually gonna go ahead and weave this one because it's cheap and I'm gonna be able to move them back and forth. So I'm gonna spend 2 and then 3 and then I'm gonna weave it. So what that's gonna mean is that I won't be able to use this action again because I'm about to cover it up. So what I would do is I'm gonna put the dreams like this. This way if you wanna make it really pretty and expand it out, but we're actually gonna move them like a little tighter in order to save space on this camera. So this is the only action that's currently showing. So that means this is the only one that I can take. However, because I can reorder cards around as long as this is showing, I can kind of flip stuff back and forth, which is pretty cool. So I've got some plans. I have a plan. So that was 9. So now we're on turn 10 for the robot. I've got to move it. I have 3 more dreams to weave. I've got to catch 2 before that's even possible. So the robot player is going to move 2. They don't do anything, and I get a bonus to hope, which is kind of nice. Okay, I don't have any experience, so going here is kind of worthless for me. I'm not dying for creativity. I guess I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna take an action. I'm gonna take this action. So what this action is gonna let me do is it's gonna let me swap dreams between my catcher and my sequence. So now I've gotten some more expensive dreams over here for a lower price than I paid, than I had to beat. So basically, this dream was more expensive than this one. This dream was more expensive than that one. So I've just been using this swapping thing in order to pay fewer resources to get what I want, which is awesome if you ask me. All right, so now we are on turn 11. And what that means is that this dude is gonna come here. And that means that, are we on an even turn? No, we are on an odd turn. So the leftmost dream, this one, is gonna go into the discard. Goodbye, dream. So these will reorder. And then we'll draw another. We've got a lot of moons and squares. There's a lot of exciting stuff to buy here. I just gotta get a hold of it. Okay, so speaking of, I'm gonna absolutely go here, even though this could be something that bites me in the rear end, because I really need this experience in order to catch some dreams. Like, it's gotta happen. So now the robot player for their turn 12 is going to come here and we're going to flip a card and see what it does to me. So a hollow circle means that the first card in the collective consciousness moves to the end. That could actually be a lot worse for me because I'm in the business of catching dreams at this particular moment. So the action one doesn't faze me too much. So speaking of, I'm going to go ahead and catch while the catching is good. So I'm going to come up here and do a dream catch. I'm going to spend, which of these dreams do I want? I really liked the reordering power, but I also really want these moons. I mean, the triangle's good too. Interesting choices here. All right, I'm gonna spring for this one. I think that's the best. So I've spent 3 experience to catch this dream. So now it's turn 13 for my enemy over here, and they're gonna move 2. I'm gonna get 2 hope. Doesn't do much for me, I'm afraid. Ooh. So now what would I like to do? So these are both pretty cheap to weave if I can get to the weave spot. I can get to an action spot and move the weave thing over and do that. That might be good. So basically this is a lot of thinking about like what move can I take, but it's not just what's available. It's like, oh, what actions do I have in order to move something around and then get what I really want? Okay, here's what I think I'm gonna do. I feel like I'm close enough to one of these action spaces and I'm a little bit low on the creativity. So I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna go ahead and grab, is that what I want? Actually, no, here's what I'm gonna do. Oh, in addition to whatever I was thinking I should fix, let's mark it up. Here we go. Lovely. So this is like a more modern looking dream. It's really cool. All right, so what do I wanna do? I am going to come here to this action space and I'm going to trigger the action that lets me move any card on the rondelle and move 2. So I'm actually going to come all the way to the end here because I want to keep the dreams that are available to me available. And then I'm gonna move just the 1. I'm gonna come here to the weave spot. And I'm going to pay, so these actually both have this ability, which is great because now I can just put either one of them over there. So I'm gonna pay another 2 creativity and 1, 2, 3 hope in order to weave this one again. So I'd woven it before and swapped it around, but now I can just kind of hang out over there. Because the action on this card is the same as the action on this one. I didn't even lose the action for the moment, so that's pretty good. All right, so I've got 3 dreams in my sequence. At 5, I will trigger end game. So hopefully this is gonna work out. So now we're on turn 14 for the robot. It's gonna go 2, sadly, which means I'm gonna draw a dream card. So on the top bar, there's nothing. So some of these do nothing, but they tend to give a lot more victory points. So you have to think about when you're buying a card, do I want it for the victory point number, or am I really, really looking for synergy between dreams? It's a choice you have to make. So if the top card is blank, I lose 1 resource of my choice. Brutal. All right, so this is going to discard. I'll lose a resource. I think we'll just go with some hope. What do I need hope for? Come on. So right now for me, the thing I'm really hurting for is experience. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and come here. And I am going to grab 3 because this is any resource of my choice. So we're gonna go up to 4 experience because I need to catch 1 more dream in order to even be able to weave my full sequence. And that's what we're gonna work on. Woo, okay, so it is now turn 15 for the robot. Yikes. They're gonna come over here and they're gonna take my wolf away. How cruel. So the wolf goes into discard and we'll reset the market. If it were an even number turn, everything would be gone, but I've been good at kind of dodging that so far. I'd really like to pick this up with the moon and the square. So that's what I think I'm gonna go for next. So let's see if I can. So now that I've picked up this experience, haha, that was a good choice because now I can go 1, 2, 3. I can pay 2 of it to pick up this lovely, lovely dream and put it in my dream catcher. So now we'll redo our market the dreamscape, as it were. And it will be turn 16 for the robot player. So the robot player is loving this. They're going here, they're gonna draw another dream off the deck, and this time it is a closed circle, which means I flip the number 3 card, the one I'm on, in fact, in the collective consciousness. So now I'm like on a different spot than I was, but I can't do anything with it. So it's my move. I think the most obvious choice is definitely gonna be to come over here and weave another dream. So let's go ahead and do that. So that's gonna cost me the one of my creativity and 2 hope. I really need a little more creativity before I can weave this last one, but I'm gonna go ahead and just pop this baby over here. So I'm going to be able to finish this game soon, and then we'll see how the scores tally up. It's just a matter of whether I can get what I need without the robot wasting too much of my time and bumping its score up too much. So this time there is no delightful space for the robots to land on for it. So it's gonna come here. I'm gonna get 2 hope. That was so helpful, robot. I appreciate you. No, I don't. Okay, so I would prefer, also that was, all right, so that was robot's turn 17, and now it's my turn again. So I'm really hurting for creativity, which is basically just true of me generally. So I'm gonna come here and grab 3. 3 resources of my choice. This time I want creativity. So now it's robot turn 18. They're gonna come here and they're gonna mess with me. Basically, I need to do everything in my power to get over here and weave this last dream to call it into the game, and then we'll see what the scores look like. So right now, the robot has drawn another one of these circles. So we're gonna flip the card number 3 in the collective consciousness again. Interesting. Okay, so that actually worked out okay for me anyway, because here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna trigger, oh no, that's not what I wanted. That wasn't even right. I'm gonna move here, 1. And then I'm gonna, sorry, wrong icon. I'm gonna trigger this dream action. I'm gonna move this thing. I can't quite reach it, can I? Yikes. Okay, so I can do stuff and move too. It's just that I'm not, I can reorder any card in the sequence. How do I get here? If I can reorder 2 cards, I could definitely make it happen. But the thing is, I have got to get to this. I think what I'll do, since that's not quite the option, is I'm just gonna stall this guy off a little bit. We'll move here. And then I will go 1, 2 from there, and it enables me to catch a dream. I mean, I might as well just blow my last 2 experience on something cheap, just in case. So we'll just grab this for fun. But I don't really need it. What's gonna happen now is that I couldn't move far away enough. That's probably a mistake, but oh well. Okay, so we are gonna move the market around. But then what's gonna happen is they're gonna move 2. This is turn 19, so again, they're only gonna take this one out of the picture for me. We'll reset the market again. And now we're gonna trigger the end of the game here because I'm gonna move 2. I am going to pay 2 creativity and 3 hope to weave this dream. So it is gonna go on my dream sequence. Hooray. Excellent. So now I have a complete dream sequence. We've gotten a 5. The game now ends because I made it. So it's time to trigger, it's time to do end of the game scoring. So now we're gonna talk about scoring a game of Dreams of Tomorrow. The robot player actually would have taken 20 turns plus 5 points because it was part of a solo game. In case you didn't catch that, you can actually use the robot player to add extra challenge to 2- and 3-player games as well, which I think is awesome. So 20 plus 5 is 25, and that is where the robot is sitting. There are 2 factors that are going to contribute to my score. The first factor is the number of victory points in the stars on these cards. So I'm going to have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 3. That's going to total up to 17. I have 17 victory points right now. And then the other way that you calculate is based on the resonance of your dreams. So the number of the same symbol that I had on the top and bottom rows is going to affect my score. Because I had 4 moons up here, that's going to be 7 points. So 17 plus 7 is going to take me to a very cozy 24 points. We still have these symbols on the bottom to calculate. Symbols have to be touching to count. So I have 2 triangles that are together for a total of 2 points. And then I have 2 squares together for another 2 points. 24 plus 4 is 28. So we managed to beat the robot player this time. But as you can see, they can actually move pretty quickly. And don't forget, this is the easy robot. The hard one is much more challenging. So if this looked fun to you, just think you can master this robot, and then there's still 2 more entire levels of robot difficulty to contend with. So this is a game that I really honestly like it so much. I think that this rondelle is so cool. I love manipulating it, trying to figure out what the most advantageous thing for me to do is, watching the robot turns, trying to keep, it from flushing the dream market on even turns. I just really enjoy it. It's a relaxing game, but it's still got enough bite to have some competitive promise as well. And Carla Kopp, the designer of the solo mode, she just makes such cool little solo robots to play against. And I love that there's more than one, because I feel like I've got a pretty good handle on this one now, but I don't always have a handle on the hard robot yet. And I can't wait to play this game some more and get better at it. So if this is a game that you think looks cool, definitely back it. There is a Kickstarter starting on October 15th, 2018. for this game, Dreams of Tomorrow from Weird Giraffe Games. I do personally intend to back it, and I hope that you enjoyed this demo of the solo mode. Happy gaming.